Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, I'm setting out some bales, getting ready for the major Arctic blizzard. Cold, not so much deep snow. I think they're saying 4 to 5 inches, but it's going to get down to -1. That's going to be the high. I believe they said on Thursday. This is February 7th. And it's just a really one of those miserable cold days, and I just wanted to shoot a video and show y'all. It is a little bit more work putting out these big round bales when you buy them in the summertime to put them on poles. That's what we do. We put them on oak, and then you could use any type post you have. I'd probably stay away from a softwood like sycamore or cottonwood. They're not going to last you very long. But these oak posts, as you can see, as we use them, we stack them up over there, and some of those posts are 7-8 years old, so it's not like you got to cut them every single year. And there's some old ones in here. They're going to be retired. Right there's one on the ground. That was a hickory. Hickory don't last as long as the oaks. Cedar, hedge, mulberry, those are your best. But we got lots of oak, so that's what we use. Anyway, I got this bale up in the air here with this tractor. I'm gonna go out here. I want to show you the bottom of this bale, the part that was setting on the ground. Make sure I don't touch that fence as I get out here and get shot. So the reason we stack them end to end on this particular farm, there's other farms we've stacked them where you don't have to move them with the tractor. So they're set where you can just back up to them with our bale unroller and grab right onto them. But we don't have room here. We got a fairly small bale stacking area here, and so this is where they get stacked in rows. It takes up less room, and we do stack them end to end. But look at that. Okay, that's the bottom part of the bale that was setting on the ground. Alibi, let me back up. It's not on the ground, it was on post. Look at that. The netting's still intact. I mean, there's not even any rot there. It's like that bale was baled up 2 weeks ago. Look at it. Just a beautiful, clean bottom. And so when you go to unroll that bale, the netting will come off well. That first roll that you take with your bale, when you start to unroll it, if you leave them on the ground, you're going to rot 6 to 8, maybe 10 inches of that bale right there on the very bottom, laying them on the ground. And so when you make your first turn or roll with the bale unroller, you're leaving a great big thick clamp of that bottom. You can see it when it rots, that first piece goes all the way around that bale, and now you've got a piece out there in your pasture 8 or 9 inches thick. And if you don't spread that out, you got a dead spot in your pasture. It'll be so thick that the cows, they won't graze it off thin enough that the grass can come up through it. It won't. These are some, see, this will be our second year on these white oaks. Look at that. They're beautiful. They're not hurting at all. There's a red oak. There's a pole that's probably 10 years old. You can see some of these need to be retired. Probably won't get another one out of that one another year, but there's some really nice poles in here. And there's we did try some sawmill slabs out of our sawmill, and I was extremely disappointed with the results on those. The reason the mill slabs didn't work, first of all, you'd need to get more than 2. We put one on each side, and the bale was so heavy that it just pushed the slabs down onto the soil, and then the bale itself was setting on the soil, so we got rot. And when we went to unroll those this last week, by golly, you had some forking to do to keep them killing out your ground. Here is the Greg Judy bale unroller. This thing's just a savior when it's wet and muddy. You can get out on your ground. You drive your spikes in right there. You can see how shiny they get. I mean, look at that. Looks like a ball bearing. It's just real, oh man, it feels nice too. It's nice and smooth. Got a nice point on them. The smoother they get, the easier they are to get into the bale. But we stack our logs up over here, and this is an old barn foundation. Got them up off the ground there, and those posts are going to last us probably. Well, some of those will last us probably another 7-8 years. But if you leave those posts laying out here on the ground, which I haven't picked these up yet, I'm just moving the bales. Those posts only last you about 2 years. The bugs will just eat them up. So you got to get them stacked up off the ground if you want them to last. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the bales over here and I'm putting them in rows, so I can just take that bale unroller right there with our four-wheeler, our ATV, and see, we've got them wide enough apart, these rows, that I can just back up, and we've got enough room we can pull the spike out and just drive them right in. These are actually going to be used for the bulls. We're getting ready to sort the bulls off here in about 2 weeks, and the bulls will be left behind. We're going to be leaving, I think, around 80 bulls here, and the mob, we'll be clamping some of those, and we may throw the clamped ones back in the. We will be throwing the clamped ones back into the cow herd. We want to keep one herd as big as possible, as many days of the year as possible. You don't want to be splitting up your herd. So the bulls will be here for about 25-30 days till the end of March, and they go into the sheep. And the sheep are just down the road here, and so we'll have a flood, the flock and the herd of bulls together. You can see the cows, they're just right down over the hill there. It is cold out here. My hand's about to freeze. I've got hand warmers in the toes of my boots. I put them in the toes. You know what? That's a pretty good trick. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. I just stick one hand warmer down in that boot on each side, and my toes are nice and toasty. But my fingers are about to freeze. You notice I do have a 3-point hitch bale unroller here on the back of that tractor. Y'all want to take a guess how many bales I've unrolled with that this winter? That's 3-point hitch. You can do it from the comfort of your tractor. Guess how many bales we've unrolled? 0. The only reason that's on there is we've got a stack of them over at the Judy farm, and I've got to have that to get them out. And I don't use that thing. I'm not putting that tractor out there on that pasture. No way. We make our living out there, folks, on that grass, and I'm not going to compress my soil. It's been wet. I mean, we've been getting rains and snow, and that melts, and it's been warm. We've had an unseasonably warm winter so far. And that ground out there, if you put a tractor on that, you'd have destroyed it. You wouldn't be able to drive a four-wheeler across it. Look at that. Do y'all see any ruts out there? Do you? Do you see any ruts at all? I mean, I'm going to show you the whole landscape. You show me a rut, a tractor rut, or any kind of rut. There is no ruts. We don't make ruts on our farms, and this is a lease farm. You go making ruts on a lease farm, you're not going to keep it very long, I can tell you that, because the landlord's going to kick you off. He's going to come out there and ride his four-wheeler, and he's going to be thrown off his four-wheeler when he hits one of those ruts in the summer with tall grass, and you're done. Plus, it's not right. You're destroying the landscape. You're compressing the soil. Keep your heavy equipment off your pastures. That's where you make a living from. Don't be compressing that soil. It's going to severely limit the amount of grass you can grow, because you've compressed the soil. It can't breathe anymore. It can't take up rainwater. It's like putting a roof over your farm. All the water just runs off, so don't do that. You're going to feed hay, unroll it, and get your bale unroller on your ATV and go on. Those are actually being made now. We make them here at the farm. We sell them. Go to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net, and Kendall and Amber, a nice young couple, are the manufacturers of that, and we brought Amber on. She's the shipping agent, so they're actually shipping them now all over the United States. We had a guy come the other day. He wanted one so bad he drove from New York, and he wanted one of those. Had another guy come from the state of Washington, drove all the way out here for one of those. But he was convinced that he needed to get his tractor off of his farm. In other words, he didn't want it out there on his pastures. He said, Greg, I've just torn my farm all to pieces. And I'm done. I'm not going to do that anymore. So you don't have to. You just got to get the right equipment and get this fertility. That's what that is. That's carbon and fertility. $32 to $40 worth of nutrients in every one of those bales. Spread it out there on your land. You're going to grow a ton of grass wherever you do that the next growing season. But folks, I got to sign off here. I'm about to freeze. I know that tractor's warm. I'm going to get back in there. And matter of fact, I'll just keep this going. One thing I'll show you, a safety feature, folks. Don't ever trust the hydraulics on your tractor. I've seen people walk underneath those with the bale up in the air. That is not a very smart thing to do. If a hose would break, a hydraulic hose would break while you walked underneath there, you're dead. That thing's gonna come down and crush you. Never ever walk underneath the front end loader on a tractor. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, this feels nice. Yeah, this is more like it. And I don't even have the fan on. There. Got me some heat. Oh, yeah, my hand's starting to thaw out now. This feels awesome. But we'll go ahead and, so when you get one on, of course your poles are all on the ground. I don't have anybody helping me. The boys are off. This is Saturday, and we don't work. I want them boys to have off on Saturday, so I'm out here after chores this morning, moving these while the ground is frozen before we get that -1 below weather. I just want these bales to be prepped. So I just bring it over here, just like so. And I like put them in rows. And see, I'm setting them on the ground now. They're not going to rot because it's winter time. And these are going to be fed up within the next 3 weeks. There we go. And so I don't worry about the bottoms. The bottoms will be nice and intact. But yeah, this is pretty nice. We did bring, this is one of our bigger farms. It's got a long driveway that goes all the way out to the road, and the driveway had gotten in bad shape, and I knew we were coming on with winter, so I had the rock actually delivered, and it was put on here. And of course I paid for it. This is a lease farm, but you know, when you get some of these leases and they're fairly economical, you can afford to go back and do some of this for the landowners. And so I took pictures of it and I sent it to the landowner and showed him what I'd done, and he really appreciated that. I also wanted to give a shout out to a guy, his granddaughter, I believe it was, sent me an email the other day and was talking about her grandfather. His name's Paul Wasson. He's from Nixa, Missouri. He's an 88-year-old farmer that got on. She gave him it was a Windows tablet. He got on there. She showed him how to get into YouTube, and he downloads my videos every day, and he tells his granddaughter about our videos. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Paul, this is a shout out to you. Hope you're having a great day, and you keep watching those videos, and we're going to keep cranking them out, showing people what we're doing. And yeah, that's just awesome. I see some people that's been to some of our grazing schools, you know, and they're up in their 80s and like, Greg, we're going to change. We're going to change the way we're doing things. So I thought that was really cool. Wanted to share that with you all. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here. It's a beautiful day. It's cold. It's a lot nicer now that I'm in this heated cab. And we'll see you all down the road. Hit that subscribe button on the way out if you would, please. Thank you.